Hi, Madison. I was having a little technical difficulty. Give me
Oh, no
one
worries.
second, and I'm going to put you on speaker. So
Thank you.
You should be on there now. Okay.
Okay, it's 5:02. I'll call this meeting to order. First item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Haley, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item is the approval of the agenda for today. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move we approve the agenda.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, the agenda is approved. Next up is executive session. I make a motion that we move into executive session for the purpose of discussion or consultation with legal advice with our attorney concerning potential legal issues arising in connection with staff discussion of national events. Do I have a second to that motion?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we are adjourned to executive session.
Do you want Dawn and Kayleen from the start, Rich?
Pardon me?
Do you want Dawn and Kayleen from the start?
Sure. Yeah. It's okay with me if it's okay with everyone. Yeah.
too.
I have sympathy for those kids that need to play.
All right.
Okay, could I have a motion to reconvene the regular meeting?
I move to reconvene the regular meeting.
In a second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, we're back in session here. So approval of minutes for the September 3rd board meeting and September 11th, 2025 special board meeting. Is there a motion to approve those?
I so move.
In a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are approved. On to informational reports, starting with summary of current events. Dr. Joe.
President Rakowski, members of the board, and guests, thank you for being here. I just have one thing I want to share out is our high school was selected to move forward in the A+ School of Excellence designation award. And the committee worked on putting together an application. That application was chosen to move forward for a site visit. So that means that we'll have a group of educators, random from across the state, will be out in November. They'll spend 2 full days on our high school campus. They will look through the innovative things we're doing, come check them out, and then they will make a final determination, usually by the end of the second day, and we hear back shortly after if we got it. So the big step is getting to this point, and I'm just really proud of the work of all of our schools, and for the high school here they won this in 2020, and this is not a renewal because you have to, the principal has to be in the position for a certain amount of years to apply, and Ms. Pinto now has been in that position to do that. And so reading through I think it was about 60 pages, somewhere around 50, 60 pages that we wrote, it's pretty amazing. And the one thing I'm just going to end on is I can't think of a high school in the state that has more college and career readiness than Fountain Hills High School. From our EVIT satellite programs on campus to our EVIT Central Campus, where 25% of our eligible students go to EVIT Central Campus. 30% of our kids are in the ASU FHU program, and the internship with the Chamber of Commerce. When you put all that together, we literally have students graduating with up to 2 years of college done. They have an internship with a company to get real-world experience. And many of them are in both the EVIT and the ASU program and will have industry certifications on top of those 2 years of college. And so if the role of the high school is to prepare for the next level, Fountain Hills High School is definitely doing that. So with that, I conclude my comments. Oh, no, I can't, sorry. I got all these books. So these are from our literary committee. They met, and these books will be posted on the website and will be available for 60 days in our district office for anyone who wants to come take a look at them. Okay? You want me to read through them real quick? Okay, let's see if I can. I don't have my glasses. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, City of Ember, Tales of Fourth Grade, Nothing, the BFG, Hatchet, Boxcar Diplomacy, Two Trains That Crossed an Ocean, The Friendship Train of 1947, and The Mercy Train are the ones on there. So those are all been through the literary committee and on to public viewership and then to you. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to staff and student recognition, starting with Little Falcons Preschool.
Thank you. Good evening. I am here and I am very excited to nominate one of our students and one of our staff members for Falcon of the Month. The first one I'd like to do is our student Bodie. Bodie, will you come up with me? Bodie is in Mrs. G's class, and she wrote something that she would like me to read, why she nominated Bodie. Bodie is a new student at Little Falcons Preschool and has already shown many of the Falcon traits in the classroom. Bodie is very respectful during circle time. He's careful to sit crisscross with his hands in his lap. He has great manners. He always raises his hand before he makes a comment. Bodie's also very responsible on the playground and often picks up toys that others leave behind. He is responsible during snack time as well, tucking his chair in and picking up anything left on the floor. Bodie remembers to be safe at school. He rides the bike safely in the designated areas. He also uses classroom materials like scissors very safely. He remembers to point them down, and he's careful around his friends. Bodie's very kind. He has made many friends at school. He's enthusiastic and active. He takes turns with his friends on the slide and scooter and is always willing to share his blocks and toys. I am very proud of Bodie, and I'm glad he's in my classroom. Congratulations, Bodie. Hold on. Krista, which?
They're both the same.
It doesn't matter anymore? Okay. Okay, well, you turn around and you do for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're very excited to have Bodie at our school. Okay, my next one is for our staff member, Miss Heather. Would you come up? I am very excited to nominate Heather Penkova for our Falcon of the Month. She is a treasured member of our team who we can always count on for speech advice. Our students love Miss Heather coming into our classroom teaching whole group lessons. That's the highlight of their week. They just love it. She always has some fun props to go along with the activities, and they love that. Heather takes a vested interest in our preschool program. She's always willing to help with family involvement ideas and materials. All of our students want to go to speech class with Miss Heather. Her involvement in our special activities is great. She's always there to lend a helping hand, and she's always there to get a fun potluck started for the team. We appreciate her so much. Congratulations. Here you go.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we got to get our picture.
Yeah, I may as well just stay where I am. Thank you.
Okay, next up, McDowell Mountain. Regular.
Hello. Okay, I am going to start with my student. My Falcon student is Frances Dowling. Come on, girl. So Frances is one of our fifth graders, and we're so lucky to have her here at our school. If you're looking for someone who really stands out and has her unique style and an amazing personality, look no further. We got it right here. If you want to see a crocheted mushroom bag, we can find that swinging on your shoulder, right? And she just comes all happy to school. Accompanying her cheerful style, she has got some energy and she's creative, and she's always like the person you want to see to put a smile on your face. So we're so lucky to have you. Congratulations. Thanks for being part of our fifth grade team. Up next is, I'm a big fan of this lady. This is Mrs. Reislich, Selena Reislich. Selena is not only a dedicated and passionate kindergarten teacher, but she's also an alumni of FHUSD, which makes this so much more special for you. So she's come full circle from walking down the hallways herself to teaching our children, and she just does an amazing job in her classroom with her kids. She's a team player. She's always ready to collaborate and step in when needed and lend a helping hand. She also always has a positive attitude and smile on her face. They don't want it, I promise. I know. She is flexible, she is willing to help everybody, and you can see that every day. But what truly sets her apart is her care for students. She creates a warm, nurturing atmosphere in her classroom. When you see her classroom, it's just like, kindergarten. I love it. So, she's always celebrating her students' successes. So Selena is committed to growing in her profession. She's always looking for new help, and we're always there to help her and provide things for her. And I think she embraces this. So with that, I'm so proud of you and the educator that you are, and our students are real lucky to have you. One more. Wait.
Okay, on to the middle school. Dr. Wheelgrad.
Hello, good evening. I'm glad to be back. It's a new school year. I am going to start off with my student because he's got to get off to football. So that's Henry Good. He's a 6th grader. So this young man he's a standout 6th grader so far. He's already soaring above and beyond. Not only is he tackling his 7th grade coursework like a champ, but he also comes to class prepared, asks thoughtful questions, and takes charge of his own learning. He's the kind of student who leads by example, always kind, respectful, and ready to help others. His hard work and positive attitude make our school a better place every day. And also, most recently, was named the Vice President for the Above That Club, sponsored by the Protect Our Youth Coalition. So, we're so happy to have you. I knew you'd be an awesome leader. And you're going to dance. I said while I was talking, he was going to do a little interpretive dance. That didn't work. I think he's getting used to my sense of humor.
Good job, Eddie.
Okay. For my staff, I went with this most amazing woman, Andrea Hall, Coach Hall, my parent, volunteer extraordinaire. We both share a passion for running. If there's anyone that deserves to be recognized, it's Andrea Hall. She's incredible. She actually asked if she could just be my librarian or do all types of things. I'm like, yeah, go you. And so she is our middle school librarian volunteer. She's not only a reliable chaperone on every field trip, but she also shows up every single day to support our students and staff in countless ways, whether she's hosting a daily lunch bunch in the library, keeping our library spotless. Yes, she even vacuums and wipes down tables, and she helps organize the games, the books. She brings care and energy to everything she does. She has even assembled the tables and bookshelves, and just to get our library up and running and ready for when school started. So it is a much better welcoming space because of Andrea. On top of that, she supports fundraisers, she leads our middle school running club, and she still finds time to coach the high school cross-country team. She's truly one of our middle school's greatest assets. She's thoughtful, dedicated, and a total delight to work with. So, and I also like helping her too, as I was helping at the cross-country meet, which was a success again. So thank you.
Good job, Andrea.
Thank you.
Okay, now to the high schools. Yep.
Good evening. Unfortunately, neither one of my nominees are here today, but I still want to talk about them and recognize them publicly. So Katie Dwyer is my student. She's unable to attend tonight because she's at a varsity volleyball game and it's an away game. She's a senior and is a great student who consistently goes above and beyond. She always puts forth her best effort and often helps out without being asked. She is a leader in National Honor Society, and Katie continues to exemplify the Falcon Way through her involvement in sports, clubs, and AP classes. She's always asking staff how she can help around campus. She just started yesterday her required senior internship with Fountain Hills High School Athletic Department, and she'll be under the guidance of Dr. Wynn. It's something that she wants to pursue in college, so she's going to be doing some things for our athletic department. We're very proud of her. So congratulations, Katie. And then my teacher is Luke Salzman, who is also not here. We're proud to announce him as our Falcon of the Month. Coach Salzman has been a dedicated member of our community for over 20 years, serving as a PE teacher, head wrestling coach, and founder of our girls wrestling program just last year. And we know that how successful that was in its first year of existence. He's truly the heart of our Falcon Pride, always going above and beyond to support our students and lend a hand at athletic events. Beloved by his students and respected by his colleagues, we are grateful for his unwavering commitment to our school and community. So congratulations, Luke Salzman.
Okay, next up is district office transportation staff. Who is doing that?
We're going to kind of do this together, but Kaylee, come on up, and then I'll start. Christy Feuda, come on up, Christy. Christy's part of, go up there, yeah. Christy's part of the finance team and oversees payroll. And I always have a joke with her, payroll's never wrong. So like anytime you go in there, you're like, is this right? It's always right. She does a great job. But what's great about Christy is her attitude around the office. She's always in a great mood. She's always smiling. She's always willing to help in any way. She covers recess from time to time. She helped with some of the transportation things we did over the summer. But anytime, and sometimes I'm afraid to ask because I know she's going to do it immediately. So sometimes I wait till it's a good time to ask because I know she's going to drop everything to help anyone who comes in. But we are very, very blessed to have Christy in our front office. And I'm going to let Kaylee say a few more things, but I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, so Christy, I call her my emotional support worker. There's some days when I just tell her to come in and sit next to me so I don't lose it, especially over the summer. We honestly, I have never met anyone more efficient with what they do. There have been, a lot of people in turnover in that department, and she's fixed everything. And like Dr. J said, everything she's going to do is right, so we know not to really question her, but she's great, and I honestly could not do my job, or even half of it, without her.
And you're never allowed to leave.
Yeah, you're never, ever allowed to leave, ever. Oh, that's right, you build bikes too, I looked at
Okay, next up, we have a very special award for the 2024-2025 Falcon of the Year.
It gives me such great joy to see her back in Fountain Hills today. Melissa, come on down. You all heard me talk last year about Melissa and what an impact she's had on this district for over 20 years.
I'll get it up there. There you go.
And I literally said the last time, if I were starting a school district, she'd be my number one pick in the draft. She is just amazing. In fact, just to show you how much I think of her, our theme this year was, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And we really talked about, the whole point of it was to be like Melissa. I put her picture up, I talked about her, and I said, if we're gonna try to be as employees in an organization, let's be like her. Attention to detail, the little things make a difference, just taking it to the next level. And you knew Melissa was in your office or in your room because not only just the way it looked, but the little things, the candy, the chocolate, the gifts, just the little things that she did. But what was also amazing is that anything you asked of her was always, of course, we'll take care of it. Anything she wanted when I was principal or, superintendent, I said, she gets whatever, like, let's help her out. Like, if she needs a piece of equipment, it's getting ordered. We're going to take care of her. But we really think that highly of her, that our whole theme this year is based on to be like you, Melissa. You've left a just decades of excellence in this district. If there's, I think, an example of what it means to be a Fountain Hills Falcon, it's you. So congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. Dancing.
And remember, you can answer the phone if I call, okay? That's always my joke to our retirees. I sometimes call them back so they can answer the phone when I call.
Okay, so much for the excitement, I guess. On to the reports. Starting with the student activity and auxiliary accounts. I think Mr. Hartman's going to do this. Yeah.
I think he's available if you have any questions. Do you have any questions?
Okay. So do we have any questions for Mr. Hartman? Make them hard.
Sorry, I'm a little sore from getting up and down with the pictures, doing squats. This is June, and I understand that we're in mid-September, but if you remember last year, and like I said, I'm not sure which meeting, we're in the middle of the AFR, so lots of moving parts, but I'll have July, August, and September, and October, probably in November, so some extra homework. But just want to acknowledge the entire finance team, along with Craig. We all worked hard to close the year out. You can notice, if you notice, there's no red, so not promising it won't be red again. But for end of fiscal, there's no red, so.
It's not how you start, it's how you end.
Yes,
Right,
thank you,
right.
Dr. Rakowski. Thank you.
And that was all planned too. It's great. Like Valencia, no red, just for you. So.
Yep.
And if you'll notice, the blue want to shout out to Mr. Adolfi too. I didn't think he had this side to him, but he found a way to make the reports Falcon Blue moving forward. So credit to him. Yeah, he's always got something in his back pocket. So that's it.
Okay. Any questions, comments about that? Support? No?
Nope.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, on to public comments. Do we have any?
We do not.
Nope.
We do not. Okay, so on to action items. Starting on page 30, and that would be the personnel action items. Any questions about that report? If not, I'll move that we approve the personnel action report.
I
Have a
second.
second? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. Next up is the board-appointed facility and land sale committee. This is on page 31. And this basically, we should select a member of the board to sit on the advisory committee. And I believe Mr. Henley has agreed to be that person? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll nominate you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
Sorry I was late.
All right, moving on, the intergovernmental agreement with WMAC, right? I got it right this morning.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions about that one? Or do you want to say anything about
No,
it?
we're good. Yeah.
Any questions, comments? Okay, if not, I'll move that we,
You can do it.
okay, I'll move that we approve the WMAC IGA resolution. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, 4-1. All right, moving on to the superintendent summative evaluation, and the only change here from what we discussed last month was on the heading. So now the heading will notice that this says performance exceeds standards, meets standards, does not meet standards, and et cetera. That's the only change from last month. Any questions, comments about that?
I move we approve the superintendent's evaluation tool.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Next up is the policy advisories 915 and 916. And for this, 916 really does not apply to us since we're not an accommodation school. So I guess otherwise the language is fine. The question is whether we want to just approve 915 and leave 916 out since it doesn't apply to us, or just approve both even though 916 doesn't apply. I'm open to suggestions on that.
I'd prefer to just approve the one that applies.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion that we approve policy 915.
Okay. A second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, good. So 915 passes, 916 does not. And then to policy GCQC-R for liquidated damages. We had talked about this a little last month, and I had made the suggestion for everyone's consideration that the part about spouse relocation, that we removed the word spouse, since I think that doesn't give that option for someone who doesn't have a spouse if they're relocating out of state. My question with that is, what's beyond the control of the employee? Can we prove that or whatever? So I would suggest that we just get rid of the word spouse and leave relocation, but open to other suggestions, opinions, whatever.
No, that sounds right.
I mean, I'll just stand by what I said before. I think that it's a very well-written policy because it does actually reach different circumstances, right? And I think the fact that it has the circumstances are out of the employee's control is broad enough and general enough that people can use that as they need, even including the one that we just saw with your parents. Lillian had just brought up that there was no event that changed anything that caused that immediate need. And so it was still not a decision made outside of her control. It was just a changed mind, right? And so I think the policy is well written and can stand as is.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion to remove the word spouse, and then we have a second and vote on it, we can go on that, but to remove the word spouse from subparagraph B there. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion about that? If not, if you're in favor of that, the motion has been seconded. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
This is 4-1. All right, moving on to next, the job description for the middle school and the high school LPN. So this, let's go ahead here.
Can I say one thing, Dr. Castro,
Sure,
while you're looking?
yeah.
So one thing I just want to be clear about is what is being proposed tonight is a change to the job description that makes the minimum qualification to be the district nurse being a licensed LPN, okay? And to serve on the high school, middle school campus because of the size of it, that it's all on one campus and it's under 600 students. Okay?
So this is not a red line version, but the language in blue is the inserted language, and then there's strike through of the language that it replaces. So I went through this and tried to make it as carefully worded as possible and consistent with the licensing restrictions of an LPN, and makes it clear they can't exceed that. So hopefully you had a chance to look through that. Are there any questions about the wording?
No, I move we approve it with the corrections and additions that you put in there.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Next up is the emergency procurement for Andrews Refrigeration.
Dr. Krukowski, members of the board and guests, this is, as you know, when we have a emergency procurement, if we bring it to the board and you guys see it that way as well, it will not be considered for an audit finding. And so what happened here was one of the freezers went down, and we had this happen months back, probably about a year ago. And it happened, I believe, over a weekend, and we lost a lot of food as a result of that freezer going down. So, and we have to reimburse Sodexo if something like that happens. So when this one went down, Juan, knowing that in the past what happened, he immediately got it repaired before the food spoiled. So it'd be an after the fact that it happened, but we believe to save the district money, it was the right thing to do to get that repaired as quick as possible so we didn't have any food spoilage. So that's why we're bringing it to you.
Okay. Any questions or comments about that? If not, I'll move that we approve the emergency procurement for Andrews Refrigeration. Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. On to information and discussion items, starting with the professional meet and confer.
So Dr. Kowski, members of the board and guests, we have our teachers here tonight along with their AA representative, Roni Asali. So I'm going to turn it over to Talia and Sam, and appreciate all the work you guys have done. And Talia, I guess. All right, all yours.
Good evening, members of the Fountain Hills Unified School District, community, staff, and board members. Tonight, we are pleased to present the revised certified employee agreement for the 2025-2026 school year. The past few years have had some challenges for educators, which is why we are grateful to have reached an agreement supported by the overwhelming majority of our certified staff. When we began this process, our top priority was improving compensation to recruitment and retain quality educators. However, we were informed that salary increases were not available. Given these realities, Dr. J challenged the bargaining team to think creatively about how to support staff with the resources available. Today, together we agreed that if funding could not be increased, then time could be given back. This agreement reflects the commitment. It prioritizes giving educators more time for instruction, reducing administrative burdens, expanding professional growth opportunities, and offering greater flexibility and support throughout the school year. We believe it is a meaningful step forward, not only for educators, but for the entire Fountain Hills Unified School community. A respected and supported workforce ultimately leads to stronger outcomes for our students and a brighter future for Fountain Hills. On behalf of the bargaining team, thank you to everyone who contributed to this important work. We look forward to continuing this partnership in the year ahead.
Hey, how's it going? I think we're trying to get.
Yeah, we're coming.
Bear with me, I'm gonna have to give my computer, which means I'm not, 'cause that one rebooted on me, so.
Of course it did. That sounds right. The timing of that is how it goes.
Oh, this may not work on this one.
Before you get started, let me say how nice it is to have this called Meet and Confer. Everywhere I taught, it was contract negotiations, and it was adversarial. This is so much better, and it comes out better, and it's wonderful.
Okay.
That's the plan. Good evening, governing board members. My name is Roni Asali, and the role that I served in with Meet and Confer is facilitating the interest-based negotiations process. So if you think of traditional bargaining, similar to what board member said, where one side slides a proposal, the other side slides one back, and they just don't really talk to each other. They just keep sliding things back until everyone gets upset. The idea behind interest-based negotiations is what is the interest or what is the goal we're trying to meet, and then the team collectively creates proposals. So started off really well, right? You can imagine the doom and gloom of funding in public education. That's no surprise to anybody. Kind of set things a little bit off course, but I will say kind of in a facilitation standpoint where people are really quickly to lose hope and right, kind of bounce out of the process altogether. There was a lot of creative minds brought together to say, you know what, how do we continue to honor the profession, honor the educators and their hard work and all the accomplishments given the constraints that we have. So I was in the middle of creating like a 45-slide PowerPoint presentation based on red line versions, and then we narrowed it down to 2. Only because you have it and it's in board documents, so anyone can review the red line version, but we just kind of took the summary, and the thought tonight is get your thoughts, get your feedback, get dialogue. There's educators here that represent people on the bargaining team and in the classroom, so if there's any thoughts or rationales, it's a great place to get feedback, and then we'll take that back and bring it back to you at the next board meeting. Is kind of the general idea. All right, so a lot of the red line items that are kind of 1 to 2 words is just cleanup, right? So changing dates from 23, 24s, 24s, 25s. Also, there's a change in just the vernacular. So instead of teacher, it's certified educator, because teacher oftentimes feels very limited and it doesn't talk to your counselors, SLPs, OTs, PTs, etc. Right, there's language that, again, I had an entire slide dedicated to this, and I thought, you've seen too many slides in your life here, in the service that you do. It just basically allows the Meet and Confer team, if there's an issue that the group can't tackle. So sick leave, right, things that we just know that we're not going to be able to deal with in the short amount of time we have together, that group can say, let's start a task force or a subcommittee to investigate, do the research, come up with recommendations, and then they bring it back to the Meet and Confer team so the work can continue to get done, Reducing the need to visit yearly recurring items. So instead of, the rate will be $135 a day, that was removed to just say the daily sub rate. So as that changes, that automatically changes those kinds of housekeeping items. Compliance with blackout days and absences. So in the past, there was language that said, you must give a reason to your employer as to why you're leaving, and technically anything below 3 days does not require that, and it starts to infringe upon people's rights in HIPAA and those kinds of things. So again, just more cleanup. Ensuring prep periods and lunches are protected, as they've always been, but just kind of this gets really specific of if there is a need, here's what the remuneration is, right? They get paid at that rep, so just or at that rate that was agreed upon. And then traveling teachers who, there's more and more of them now, considering kind of the middle school and the high school. So the idea is kind of what are the things that are protections for them so it doesn't feel like twice as much work, and then they only have one evaluator. So both administrators can kind of collaborate together, but they have one designated person, so they're not kind of pulled in multiple directions. So that's cleanup stuff. This is the big working condition changes, right? So one of them is explicitly defining professional duties. So in the past, the contract did not talk about what is required if you're a certified educator outside of the instructional day. And this teases it out a little bit more, so it's in writing, so everyone has a clear expectation. So that includes duty, right? So we're talking like elementary school, if you have crossing guard duty, safety duty before or after school, that is something that is part of your professional requirement. Parent-teacher conferences, something that's part of your professional requirement. Again, implied, right? But oftentimes when it's not written in language, it starts to get really confusing. So this just teases us out. 504 IEPs, again, legally required, but it's in there. And even the language in there is a little bit sterner of like, you must attend unless you get permission not to attend from your administrator to ensure that we're being compliant with the law. Committee participation, so ensuring that people are participating in one site committee, one district committee to make sure that it's kind of a joint decision-making kind of process. And then reteach at the secondary level. So that's procedurally been in place. This puts it in the contract, so it solidifies it more. One of the biggest changes is defining the professional day, which is very abstract. But when we talk about the gift of time, there is no shortage of reasons to be on campus based on how people are feeling. So reading under the stars is great, but then it turns into like reading in the rain and reading in the snow and reading in a dust storm and all those things. So you get educators that need to go home to their families or grade or plan or et cetera. And there's nothing that limits anyone's ability to say, you must stay here for 3 or 4 more hours. So this just specifically says, you have duties that you must attend, period. Outside of that, you need to be here 15 minutes before students get here, 15 minutes after students get here, that is your professional day. Seems different based on how Fountain Hills has operated before. This does not negate their obligations. If a parent shows up and says, hey, I'd like to meet, I'd like to set up a time to conference, that is still a professional responsibility that teachers have to meet. So it is right? If they want to meet 30 minutes before, that is a 30-minute obligation that they must do, because as educators, right, engaging with parents about student performance is a thing, right? Like that's a pretty important part of the job. What it does do is it removes 8 hours from the contract which has existed before. And I think that for education, it's a little bit of a shift in this district. Other districts do it, but the reason why it's done is because when we say 8 hours, there's a little bit of like a mental confinement to say an educator shows up, they work for 8 hours, and they leave and they go home and they never look at anything again, which is not the case if you've been in education, right? I mean, looks like I'm preaching to the choir here. My head nods.
Can I just ask for clarification?
Yeah.
8 hours less per what?
Per day.
Per day.
Yes. So there used to be an 8 hour, like you must be on campus 8 hours from 8 to 4, despite the fact that students were not on campus.
I thought you were saying less.
Oh, yeah, no. You're like 10 minutes a day. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Because right, and this is important to kind of, in the framing of the 8 hours a day is oftentimes, and I've been one of those when I started teaching and I see teachers leaving right at the 15-minute after the school bell. I'm like, man, they just go home, right? And I'm here planning and prepping and all these things, and that doesn't seem very fair. And then several years later, I don't know what happened, but I have a wife and I have kids. And all of a sudden, I find myself being the teacher that's running out after the 15-minute mark to go get my kids, take them to a doctor's appointment, and then between the hours of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. is when I can get work done when they actually go to bed. So, thank you. Right, so we say 8 hours. We know that an educator's day is much longer than 8 hours. It just all doesn't have to be literally on that campus, because that ends up being pretty limiting in terms of sometimes sitting there and being like, I don't really have much to do, but in 3 hours when assignments get turned in, I now actually have to go and get those graded and get feedback to the kids. The next major point is staff meetings. So staff meetings, the idea of them being held during early release Wednesdays, right? And again, all that does is a gift of time. You ask any educator, every survey that's been given for the last bazillion years in every single district in every single state, educators are begging for time to collaborate, time to write PD, all those things, and they really want that time embedded. So you all, right, luckily have the gift of those early release days, so why not essentially kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Allow for that to happen, but still giving the gift of time considering there's no compensation happening. Half of the early release days, so that is, I think there's 23 total, so it's 12 of them, so a little bit more than the majority, are, what is it? Okay. So half of the days will be utilized for staff meetings, PDs, PLCs. There's also language in the contract that's not teased out here Oh, actually it is, okay. Where it says the other half, so those early release days where you don't have those things going on, anyone that is new to education, it said the principal of their site administrator can bring them in for additional support, PD, or any teacher that the administrator is deeming is having some sort of performance issues, classroom management training, right? Anything that's going on that says, hey, we need more time to kind of get you up to speed, to provide support, to give you the resources you need, that time exists to really have that differentiated one-on-one or small group where it's admin and educators working together to reach whatever level they need to. There's been an increase in caseloads and class sizes, so, right, as Talia has mentioned, like the lack of compensation, there's also been an increase in workload, right, because to tighten up budgets where people are staffing at just higher levels, and that comes with an extra slew of grading, classroom management, prepping, et cetera. And then a reduced overage pay. So in the past, I think in the contract it says $250 per student if someone's over the cap. In the past, Fountain Hills' practice has been someone gets a 6/5 at the secondary level, which is an extra 20% of their contract, right? Which is awesome, right? Like, heck yes, absolutely on board for educators getting more money. But to think about that, it ends up costing way more versus every student you go over starts to create and become a little bit of an incentive that is not as expensive as 6/5. So there's a little bit of kind of financial, right, thoughtfulness and responsibility in that also. Questions? There's the third
I
slide.
have several.
Yeah.
Go back to that last slide.
Yes. And if you got page numbers, we can kind of walk through it.
Okay, so the other half may be required for certified staff with performance concerns and or new educators. What's the definition of new? Is that all first year?
New educators is typically their first year.
Okay.
Yes.
And performance concerns, so if there's just a, I don't know if it's differentiated as to someone that's high performing versus low performing but doesn't have a performance concern? Is there any distinction between that, or?
So in kind of like the definition of performance concerns, typically it lives in, so administrators typically do walkthroughs or observations. So if in their walkthroughs or observations there's concerns, they typically meet with the educator and go, hey, of the evaluation system, here are the 2 or 3 criteria where there were concerns. Let's work on X, Y, Z. So it's typically like admin viewed from observations and walkthroughs. Yeah.
So there are others that I just had, when I start looking at proofreading and editing, I go crazy sometimes, but anyway, there's some suggested language changes that would get for consideration. So it's page 75 in our package, but it's like Roman numeral 1, the second to the last bullet point, classroom site plan.
Yep.
So the end of that says AC state statute. It really should be Arizona revised statutes. That's the technical term of the law.
Yep.
Okay, so Arizona revised statutes. The other thing, on page 76 on ours, which is middle of the next page, all clubs must be self-sustained. I think it should be self-sustaining, because self-sustained kind of implies past tense, and I think you mean they're still sustaining, so self-sustaining rather than self-sustained.
Right, and really all club funding must be.
There's another one, there was a typo, it was T, it should be
I taught math.
THE instead of TEH, and I don't remember exactly where. But you had it on there too. I think on the page before that. Oh, no, it's right there.
Oh, is it
Under
on?
defining professional day. After the instructional day?
After
Yeah.
Okay.
It was after a really long instructional day.
The last one is on our page 84. This is under the SPED resource classroom, the table that has SPED resource classroom speech and language. Middle of the page there. There's like 1 through 6.
Oh, yep.
Okay, so number 5 says addition teacher compensation. I think you mean additional.
Sure do.
Yeah.
I taught math. I just want to be. Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
yeah, those are the things I would consider changing those.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Other questions, comments?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
So it's our page 79. It is Roman numeral 5 under leaves, general leave, and it's the red part, the change there.
Yep.
Due to personal business.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Personal business is typically pretty abstract, but anything that's actually in general leave where it's not delineated as like vacation or sick, like that is a definition that we found even in like kind of legal standings.
Okay.
It's like personal, it's that personal business, right? Yeah.
Okay. And then,
It's not, so vacation would not be interpreted technically as, if you're like, hey, I'm on personal business for 7 days because I'm going to the Bahamas,
Right.
Yeah.
That was my concern.
So there's some like practice in
How do we
defining
define
that.
personal
Yeah,
leave?
yeah, okay.
Right, or personal business,
No,
I should say.
I hear you.
And then in that same section, on the next page, page 80, under blackout days. So I see the crossed out paragraph, which refers to principal and superintendent, and the paragraph that's left refers to supervisor. That gives me pause,
Yep.
because I need to understand who is the supervisor. Just to me, it would be, I guess there are situations maybe in the.
I can answer that.
Yeah,
So,
transportation department.
I do feel that language is better than, because, for example, Leah has her own, employees that may work under her in special ed. So going to your direct supervisor to get that approved, they're going to be the best to know what their day or week looks like coming up. So for a lot of people, it would be the principal. For me, I wouldn't get involved in that unless the principal came to me and said, hey, I have a concern, or I need assistance with this. But in most cases, it pretty much is the principal, to be honest. I think the language is saying you may, for example, but that would be, most of those examples would be classified. Like if someone had an issue with transportation, they go to John.
Right.
But really, the only for certified educators would be really just the principal in most cases. Maybe Leah. Am I missing anyone else? Director for preschool, things like that. And really what they should be doing, and our staff does, teachers do a great job of this, is if they know it's on one of these days that is concerning, it's just really all about communication. We've had teachers that get married on those days, or extend for a family reunion. We always want to work with our teachers if they're coming to us ahead of time and give us the chance to be able to cover the class, and it's not a last minute request. Yeah.
Let me ask you, would it make more sense to just have it say, be provided to their immediate supervisor / principal and HR? And then that way, if you're an educator in a school setting, it's your principal, and then if you live in like a weird little bucket.
Yeah, I think it helps me feel more comfortable that
makes
we're
sense.
defining it more.
Where you're not like, this is my colleague / supervisor, and they're letting you go versus, I hear what you're saying, okay, yeah, okay. I get
Since
the
you're on
intent
that
of, like, what
page,
you're saying.
I noticed another typo.
Ah.
Paragraph after that in red,
What page is it, sorry?
I guess it's page 80.
Okay.
Where it says certificated employees, it keeps going.
Take
There
a look.
may be exceptions, but it should be may be exceptions, not maybe. Just separate
You
it.
guys are good, no, great.
And then I just have one last question.
Please.
And this is just me maybe not understanding. I do understand why you have pulled out the 135 per day.
Oh, yeah.
I get that why I keep changing that each year. But I guess I want to understand, were you guys just matching that number to the daily sub rate previously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's still, it is a sub rate, but I'm like, seems weird to pull a committee together and be like,
Right.
changed it, now we change that.
Yeah,
That's it.
okay. Those are my questions.
Anyone else? Addison, you have anything?
Not at this time, thank you.
All right. Okay. So that's professional, we can confer. You also need to support me?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, go ahead.
If you all are in, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Only one slide. There's not even 2 slides on this one, so this is even better. Right, cleanup, very similar. It's date updates. And some of that is really aligning language to current practice, so I will find an example of it. It's about general leave reimbursement. It's page 8 for me, but I have no idea what page number it is for you. But it says the district has implemented an accrual, general leave, and vacation leave conversion plan. There is no vacation leave conversion plan, like vacation days are not converted. So we just struck that out because it's literally just general leave that gets converted. That kind of, like the practice. And Christy was the one that was going through it in finance, where she's like, this is the practice. This language just gets confusing. In working conditions, there's just,
Nothing wrong.
Right.
and you know what? That's what I hear. Christy said it, so therefore it's good. Yeah, no questions even allowed when Christy says it. For working conditions, there's just two. One of them is in regards to something that classified staff brought up is because it's such a small district, right? Oftentimes you have one or two people that are experts at one thing that sometimes breaks when they're on their day off, and someone has to call them, and the conversation around it is the day that I had earned. And there's not a lot of days taken off, right? People really want to be here to make sure that the system runs because it's their heart. Like, and hearing talking about Fountain Hills in the school, they love it. So it's not a matter of, I'm in the Bahamas all week, right? But oftentimes a phone call comes in and they start feeling obligated to answer. I know that this has been addressed where administration said, hey, we've talked to immediate supervisors where we go, if this person's off, please respect the fact that they are using their general leave day or whatever day they've accrued to be off. So all it does is it includes language that says if there's a phone call made and it's an emergency that has to take over 5 minutes, they get 30 minutes worth of time. There was more language in there about like egregious examples, but even in working with HR, right, and Kaylee, she goes, anything really over the 30-minute mark, if that conversation is taking 30 minutes, they either need to track or they need to have a bigger conversation of, do you need me to come in? Should I come in tomorrow, right? Because anything that needs to be troubleshooted for more than 30 minutes just looks different. The other one is they have a longevity stipend that's paid out, and it's based on the number of years that they work, right? It's great. It's not a giant amount, and the request for them is rather than having it be broken up over their paycheck, so it's minimal to see, is distributing it sometime in December around the holiday, so it's a one-time, potentially taxed at a little bit of a higher rate because it's higher, but they would prefer to get that chunk knowing that that's typically a time that financial instability is, right, higher just given what people are doing. And then I will take questions on the book, but that's kind of the biggies.
Do you have any questions? Okay.
Huzzah, okay.
Administrator, meeting confirmed. Last one?
That's me.
Got the two? That's you?
That's
Okay.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, actually.
Okay, Representative.
Oh, no, I don't like too much. So all we did was revert back to the originally approved document. The two changes that we had in there requesting for a remote day and flex time, nobody came here to speak on it. So you guys tabled it, so we took it out.
Okay.
So, and I emailed everybody and everybody agreed that that was fine.
Good.
So it's just date changes.
All right.
Easy.
Very good.
Okay, so moving on to future action, including student outcomes such as report cards and proficiency data and DSA voucher students in sports. Our upcoming meetings, October 15, 2025 and October 22nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. right here. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
We're getting better and better at this? What is going on? Wow,
Okay, not too many things to sign.
not too many things, no?
No, just,
Yep.